Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if the mere mention of APA style sends a little shiver down your spine, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are going to tackle that dreaded, often frustrating part of academic writing and turn it into something you don't have to think about anymore. We're going to demystify APA for good.
You know the feeling, right? We have all been there. You've just poured your heart and soul into a paper. You're on the verge of being done, you're ready to celebrate, and then it hits you, the reference list. That last brutal mile of getting every single comma, every period, every italicized title, just so. It can feel totally impossible.
But what if we looked at it a different way? APA style isn't some form of academic punishment. Nope. It's actually a system, think of it like a shared language, that researchers in the social sciences created to make everything super clear and consistent. The entire point is to help the person reading your work, not to drive you crazy writing it.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the why behind all these rules. Then, we're going to break APA down into its two most essential parts. After that, we'll look at 5 super common mistakes almost everyone makes. And then, this is the best part, we're going to show you how to automate the entire process with an amazing and free tool.
Okay, let's just dive right in. The number one absolute top reason APA style even exists? Clarity. That's it. In science, everybody is building on the work of people who came before them. Having a standard format means anyone can pick up your paper and immediately see where an idea came from, how recent the research is, and how to find that original source for themselves. It really just creates a level playing field for ideas to be discussed.
And you know, this isn't some ancient set of rules that never changes. APA has been evolving for almost 100 years. It started as this tiny 7-page guide way back in 1929, and over the decades, it's adapted. It introduced guidelines for inclusive, non-sexist language in the 70s, and, most recently, the 7th edition brought in rules for how to handle all our modern online sources and make papers more accessible. It grows with the times.
So, how does this whole system actually work? Let's boil it all down. You can forget about the massive official manual for a minute, because everything, and I mean everything, comes down to just 2 core building blocks.
On one hand, you have your in-text citations. That's the little marker you pop into a sentence to say, hey, this idea came from here. On the other hand, you have the reference list at the very end of the paper. Now, these 2 parts work as a team. Every single in-text citation must have a matching, detailed entry in the reference list. And every entry in the reference list has to be cited somewhere in the text. It's a perfect closed loop.
And when it comes to those in-text citations, you've really only got 2 main flavors. You can do a parenthetical one, where you stick the author and year in parentheses at the end of a clause, or you can do a narrative citation where you weave the author's name right into your sentence, like Smith found that. It really just depends on which one makes your sentence sound better. Now, let's look at the reference list itself. The pieces are actually way simpler than you'd think. For almost any source, like this book example, it boils down to 4 questions. Who wrote it? When did they write it? What's it called? And who published it? That's it. Author, year, title, publisher. That's the DNA of almost every single reference you'll ever write.
Okay, so, if it's that simple, why does it make us want to pull our hair out? Well, because even with simple rules, it is so easy to make tiny little mistakes over and over again. And believe me, if you've struggled with this, you are in very, very good company.
Get this. A study from 2013 looked at a bunch of student papers and found that a staggering 84% of them had errors in their in-text citations. 84%? That's almost everyone. It just goes to show you how tricky getting these little details right can be for all of us.
And that same study pointed out the biggest offenders. Things like formatting the header wrong, simple punctuation mistakes, and the big one, having a source in the text that's missing from the reference list or vice versa, forgetting to add page numbers for direct quotes, and getting the rules for multiple authors mixed up were also right up there at the top of the list.
But what if I told you that you could pretty much never have to worry about any of those mistakes ever again? Right now, we're going to shift gears from the problem to the solution. And it comes in the form of some really cool software that's designed to do all this heavy lifting for you. So, welcome to the world of reference management software. Think of these programs as your own personal research librarian. They collect all your sources, keep them organized in one place, and this is the magic part. They automatically format your in-text citations and your entire bibliography for you with just the click of a button.
Now, there are a few big names out there. EndNote is kind of the heavyweight champion for big universities and labs. Mendeley is fantastic for teams who need to collaborate on research. But for most of us, students, individual researchers, the absolute hero is Zotero. It's totally free, it's open source, and it is unbelievably powerful.
So let's zoom in on Zotero. I want to show you how a tool like this actually takes all that stress away and builds a perfect reference list for you. We'll just do a quick walkthrough so you can see how unbelievably simple it is.
The whole process is just beautiful. It's 4 simple steps. Step 1, you install the free Zotero app and the little connector for your web browser. Step 2, whenever you find an article or a website you want to use, you just click one button in your browser and it saves all the info to your library. Step 3, as you're writing your paper in Word or Google Docs, you use the Zotero plugin to drop in your citations. And finally, Step 4, when you're done writing, you click one more button and bam, a perfect, complete, correctly formatted reference list appears instantly. It's just a game changer.
And as the creators of Zotero say themselves, the tool is designed to be a totally seamless part of your research workflow. It's free, it's easy, and it gives you back all those hours you would have spent losing your mind over whether to use a comma or an ampersand. It lets you focus on the actual ideas.
So here's what it all comes down to. APA Style isn't there to punish you. It's a system built for clarity. At its heart, the rules are pretty straightforward. It's just about those two connected parts, the in-text citation and the reference list. And while it's super easy to make mistakes, modern tools like Zotero make it even easier to avoid them. You don't have to be an expert anymore. You just need to use the right tool.
And that leaves us with one final thing to think about. As these tools get smarter and smarter, automating all the tedious bits of our work, what's left for us? What's the one part of research, of thinking, of writing that is uniquely human? What can't, and maybe even shouldn't, ever be automated? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.